Uh, Participants. Hmm. What about cameras? Like oh, share my screen. There we go. Add to share. Oh God, I don't want to do that. Just share everything. There we go. Okay, curious. Let's play Sudoku. Hi. I don't know. This is different. Oh, this is my first time using Rumble, and it's a duo stream between Rumble and YouTube. Go check out my YouTube. Go check out the Rumble. I think it already has its own face cam that I don't even know how to properly manage. It's definitely different. Not sure how I feel about it, but after getting verified and being able to connect immediately to YouTube as well on my first stream, wow. This is me doing Sudoku. So I do this already on YouTube a bunch, and so this is, as you can imagine, pretty easy to do on easy, but I'm not gonna just do it easy mode. I'll do a couple other different ways of doing Sudoku. Besides that, I'll reset the puzzle and actually do the puzzle. So to start with, we need a 7 somewhere, and it has to be here. And then the other one has to be there. And the other one is here. So if you're wondering, yes, I'm Goldfish Brain, and I don't really know anything else. Like the one has to be here and there. Like I don't remember the puzzle that I just solved. It's the same numbers and everything. If that doesn't seem valid to you, well, I don't care. This has to be up here because the 2 is blocked on the other space. And then we have this space up here, which doesn't tell me anything about the other 2 positions of 2. We know that it has to be here, so that actually tells me the rest. And then the only thing left is to put 1 here, and then 2 is finished. 3 feels like it's not gonna be very, I was watching a bit of, uh, pretty cool TV show, or I was watching, oh, there it is. Amazing Digital Circus, episode 8. I was watching the Beastars series, which is absolutely fantastic. Definitely suggest being able to watch at some point yourself. If you haven't already, you probably have, but in case you haven't, definitely worth a look for a couple reasons. Like, it's a really compelling story, amazingly made, um, not just raunchy, but also compelling. It really hits some emotional beats that are totally different. Yeah. I feel like really once you have the numbers down, it's hard to not get it right. Although I did just fail to get it right. There's a 1 there. That's the final one. And so it was confusing because I had my finger over that button and I didn't see it. So this one's the 3, that one's the 5, this one's the 5, that one's the 3. So obviously it takes a little bit longer and I never do medium without candidate. Um, Tell me in the comments if you think I should do medium without candidate. It's a little busy with all the numbers, but we start off with some blatant only these numbers fit here. So as you can see, there's a 5959 pair. So you can't have 5 in any of the other places in the vertical or in that box. So that removes a lot of noise. And then we have just a 7 here. Sorry, I didn't mean to delete it. But anyhow, now we only have a 9, which is also in the 5-9 pair. So that means this is not 9. Cool. And then the only other 9 in that box is here. So we know that's where that goes. 2626 equals 4. 1212 doesn't mean anything. Hmm. 1313 also means not 13 throughout the box, but that's already indicated, so that's fine. And then we have 5 in a couple places and not here. 8 is also in a couple places. So 5, 8, and then there's 2, 6, and 4 for the other spots. But 6 has to be on the bottom. So 6, 5, 2 are really stuck there. And then you need a 4, which is probably going to be here. But I can't be sure. Um, we know that 5 has to be somewhere in here, but we don't know which one. And we know there has to be a 5 somewhere in here. We don't know which one. There's a lot of things we don't know. Let's look at 1. Well, it seems that there's a bunch of places that 1 could go. Let me see if I can find anything like concrete. Vertical 7. That blocks the 7 from all the other spaces. Very good. Hmm. 425, 425, 425 equals not 4, 2, or 5 equals 6, and also 2, 5 is part of the 425. It can't be also here. Also, there's no other 8 position. So that's easy to find. And then this is also not 5 or 2, so it's 4. There you go. Nice. Now, what else is there? How about a vertical 9? There's a 3 on the top, but we don't know which one. There's a 6, but it could also be up here. But 6 in the box? Yes. Alternate. All right. No, that wouldn't help. I don't think I can turn on the comments from the other system to interface and show me. Oh my god, there's a straight up 2. There we go. 2, and then because of that, 3 and 6 are over there, so 6 is not here, making a 1-2 pair, meaning this is a 7. This is a 6. That's a 3. That's a 6. Nice. And we have this lone 5. We have the 9, and then the 5. What? 3737 equals nowhere else in the box, but that's already indicated. We have a 8. We have 8-1, meaning this is not 1. This is not 1. Nice. 4, 4, 6, 9. That works. Okay. So looking around, I see a 6 over here. That's obvious. And then we need to put a 6 in the middle or on the side. We don't know which one. Also 4-5-4-5 equals not 4-5. And then we have 8-2 pair equals not 2 equals 1 equals 2. 1, 8. Nice. 3, 1. And then we have 5-2-5-2, 3. Well, that has to be 3. That's a 7. That's a 3. Looking down there is a 2. 8 over here. 9 over there. 3. 4. 2 over here. 5 over here, which leads to 4, 5. Which there's a 2 here. 5. 4-2, 4-2 equals 7. 4-2, 4-2, 5. 4-5 doesn't matter. Let's just keep going for some other things. We'll get there when we get there. Now we got the 4, the 2, the other 4. 9. Looking down, we got the 7 and 1. 8, 6, 5, 8, 1. And then it becomes as easy as that. But now we go to hard, but we also do it with candidate. So we start with a 5. That was blatant. Then we have that was an easy start or first number, but there's nothing else that's coming up to mind just yet. But I'd like to look at chat. This row is very random. 7 must be somewhere, but we don't know where. I should explain something called binary for me, or pick a path, where I could pick this 9 and pick this 6, and then I get insight about the path that leads me on. And I could also reverse it, switch it to the 6 is here and the 9 is there, and then see what that reveals to me. And I'm not seeing anything important. But by switching which one that is, this one picked a 2 as the remainder, and the 4 is after that. So obviously, wherever the 6 ends up, chances are the 2 would remain. Unless 9 is here and 6 is there, that made the 2 need to be here, and then 4 wouldn't remain. In fact, 4 in the box is the only thing, so 4 must be there. So that's nice. By looking at a path, we didn't even need to do anything and we found another number. Didn't need to follow the the thing. Or I could have just analyzed the boxes correctly, which I just didn't do. 6, 2, 6, 2, 9, and 6, 9 equals a trio that cannot be anywhere else. So therefore, 2, 6, and 9 don't go in this box, as well as 2 and 9 don't go in that box, leaving us with a 5, 1 pair. The 5, 1 pair means there is not any 1 or 5 anywhere else, but there are no indicators for 5 or 1 in the column, so that's all the information we get. Because there's already 5 and 1 in the other boxes. Um, pardon. I am curious if this Rumble stream is actually vertical. Unlike with the other streaming system I have, this one seems like it should be. What the hell? I am curious if it. Okay, first of all, I can't see anything on the stream. What's happening? Why can't why is it blank? Excuse me. Uh, uh that's not what I want either. I want the scene 2, not scene 1. What? This is so weird. Why would the background be there instead of where is it? I'll mute this. This is why I checked. I'm glad I checked. Sorry. Let's just fast forward a bit and you only see my face. That sucks. I don't want that. Why am I not able to select a label is missing required sources? Like I'm supposed to have a stream from a game, and the game doesn't show up properly, and it's just this, and I don't want this. I want scene 1. Why isn't it? My God, this feels so stupid. It's a single, but it's supposed to include presentation. First of all, what is that, and why is that the way that it is? And then what happens when I do this? Pause the game. Also, why am I so zoomed in to my face? And this looks like garbage for a second, and this is so freaking weird. And then, okay, so now I'm at least in the game. That still sucks, but I want my face to be there also. But now it only has this? What? Why would you do that? Why? Look, I'm trying, but it's like, okay, single, and then you go there. What does that look like? It just looks like my face. That's wrong. Also, it's supposed to be vertical. Okay, wait, my face cam is in the side now. That's a weird choice. I'm so bothered by this. Uh, so is it supposed to be presentation? No, presentation didn't give me that. Is it duo? It's to the game, and then why is it not showing anything? Not showing anything. Okay. Yeah, it's showing blank, and I'm like, "I don't want it to be blank. What do I need it to be? A presentation and that." This is such a weird format for streaming. I don't like it. If I wanted my face to be on screen, I could technically turn on my face cam of this thing. Why is this a thing that I am forced into? That's so weird. Okay, so at least I'm showing the game, but I want the where's the head? Oh, there it is. Face cam. So now I can use a different thing along with this and the face cam, and does that work? Not like I need to have myself be here, I usually don't. Checking, okay, so it all looks fine, I guess, but it's also stupid and whatever, and I don't care for it. Let's think about this. Numbers. So I've been doing this for this whole time for like 20 minutes or something, and then you didn't see any of it. Kind of suck, sucky, frustrating, but whatever. It's the first time learning this technology, which is why I needed to check. I needed to check. Thank God I wasn't blank forever. Yikes forever. Um, make it smaller. Okay, so let me think. So like I was saying, I got 5151, and in this vertical, I don't have any more 51. So that's something. And then 69 over here, 693, and then 693 is kind of saying that it can't be 69 anywhere else. So that's automatically a 5, and then 6 and 93 aren't there, so that's a 1. So that's kind of obvious to me at least. Even if I don't fill in the other numbers, that is obvious. Also, 693, 693, 6938 is one too many to make it obvious. That's hilarious. Um, 62, 6, like all of these don't tell me anything. Although, yeah, this one's exact parallel. You never know which one that is. I don't like that it's not a vertical stream. I wish that it could be vertical, or I wish that I knew how this thing stream and whatever. It's a test. I'm doing Sudoku and whatever. We're having fun, trying new things. So yeah, this is from Rumble, and it will show up on Rumble as well as here on YouTube. It feels so different and is so weird because also I have to go back to switch the controls and the screen shows. Oh, I have so little battery left. Um, okay, let's see. 629, 62, and 629, but 574767. Um, 6767867. Oh, that means 8 has to be one of those. So 8's not here, for example. Also, 6 is not here, so that's 5. 6 is not here, so that's 1. Oh, that's nice. I like that. That was some really good noise reduction. Um, or cancellation or whatever. There's only one 5 in this box, so that makes it real easy. if there was any other 5s that it was influencing, which it's not. 9 vertical, it must be in here. But we already know that. Question is, how do I reduce it? So yeah, I ended up with this 6, 9, 6, 9, and like the 5, 1 had to be the remainders of what was not the 6, 9, 3 pair. For example, 7 and 2 are in this box, but also 6, 8, and 6, 8 is in this box as well. We don't know which one they're in. But 6 has to be in the middle here in this box. So therefore, it cannot be in the bottom, for example, in that box. That's some real nice stuff. Then we got the 2 here. And then because we have 8, 3, 8, 3, this cannot be 8, so that's a 1. And then we also have 8, 3, 8, 3, so that's not an 8. So now we have 6, 7, 6, 7, which means this is 8. And that's a 6, because that's a lone 6. That's a lone 8 in the top and in that row. So we got that. Also, this can't be 8 anyway, so we don't need to think much more about that. This is not a 3 and not a 3. So we've reduced all the noise we can in that, and that's great. Also, 7, 2, 7, 2 equals not 7, 2. Nice. More noise reduction. So we have 4 free, 4 free, and then the 4 free isn't anywhere else, so that doesn't need to be further reduced. Then what? Well, the 7272 is up there, and then that corresponds. There's another 72 here, which is just fascinating. 7218. So 1 is definitely here, but that's obvious. Here, the 9 must go somewhere, and then this must be 8, you would think. I don't know why I think that. Well, it just makes some sense that it could be just the 8. Technically, I don't need the face cam. Anyway, 6, 9, 6, 9, 6, 9, 6, 9 equals no more 6 9s throughout the box equals this is not 6, it's a 2. Ah, I should have guessed that, and then that's a 7. Nice. And then that's a 3. That's an 8. Cascade. 3. There's a 2 random here. 7 leads to 4. 3. Stuff like that just happens. Then we have 8989289. And this one's the same kind of nonsense, but here's a 6, so let's just do that. And then that leaves us with I don't know. I like it, the face cam, I don't need it. It's just an option. Okay, so if 3 has to be in this row, it's more likely that 2 is down here, but we don't know that. And then 6, 4, and 6, 7, and 3, 9. 3, 9, 3, 9 equals not 9. That's a 6. That's a 9. Nice. And then we already have 7, 5, 3, 9. 3, 9 equals 7. Equals also not 3, 9 here. Also 4, 6, which is fun. There's a 6. 7, 6, 4, 3. And then we have the 9 up here, 3, 9 down here, 8, 1, 5, 3, 5, 1, 2, 9, 2, 7, 8, 2, 9, 6, 7, 8, 7, 4, 2, 4, 6. Not bad. And for the total time for this set of puzzles, that wasn't too bad. Um, yeah, I kind of like pips. Pips are neat. Do an advertisement to play pips. All right, so to start with, we need 6s on the top and both of them equaling 5. Now, the only ones that are the same are these 5s, or, well, okay, here's the thing. If we go from here to there and there to there, for example, we can't have this be the answer because it has to go like this. And then it has to go there. That would be equals. And then we have a 6, 5, which, or a 6 and a total of 5, which is this actually. And then we have this, which is a 0, which is 5, and we solved it. Hooray! Plan out a difficulty. All right. So this one, let's look at the structure. It has to be equal and try to think of what numbers can be equal. Well, we can have a 1 and a 5, 1. That works. Or we have a bunch of 2s. So it's kind of in the middle of somewhere. We have to have less than 2, but also here's the key thing. The equals sign is there again. So we have a 2, and then we have this totals less than 2, which we can't do right now because, or yeah, less than 2. So we can't do that because there is nothing less than 2 that'll fit in there, except for this 6, which is greater than 4. So I guess that works. And then we have less than 4 equals equals equals. Chances are it's less than 4 is 3, greater than 4 is 5, and equals to 2. So that solves that. Hooray! This is a big puzzle. I've never seen a puzzle this big. Hooray! Um, this is actually not the same structure. There's no equal signs. There's a bunch of zeros. So that's nutty. Uh, huh, ugh. Um, so the 0, 0 obviously is just 0, 0, but that's not the only way you can achieve that. But a simple 2 and 3 means you just put a 2 and 3 there. And then another 2 and 3 could mean you put another 2 and 3 there, or you put something else there. But 0 and 4 looks like this. 2 and 2 looks like this. If we're considering it, then 0 and 4 would have to be here, and that doesn't work. But 0 and 4 is not the only answer. We could have a 3 and 0, which we do have, so that can go there. And then we have a 2 and 4, which we do have. This is in fact very hard to get wrong. Um, I'm pretty sure. So do we have a 3 and 4? We technically do. So that can go there. We have a 3 and 0. No. So we need a 4 and 0. We don't have that. We have that down there. So we have some fiddling to do. So 0 and 2 could be this. 4 and 2 is up here. It's another way of doing that. The numbers on the top could be literally any these numbers in this corner could be anything, as long as it's 2 and 3, which we don't need to exactly have a 3 there. We could have the 2 2s and then 3 with anything, so we'll ignore that. And then we need, a 2 and a 0, which we don't have. So we need a 3 and a 0, which we don't have. We need a 4 and a 0, which we do have. So then we have to do something else. We need maybe a 3 and a 3? That works. 4 and a 2? We don't have that. So we're kind of stuck. Really? How is that even possible to be this stuck so many times? I think that 2 is more interesting than anything. Like 2 and 3 in the corner, we can't do anything else there, but there are so many options for everything else that we can do. Yeah, we don't have a 4 0. What if we didn't do 4 0? What if I work from a different premise? And we have a 0, but we have a couple of do we have a 3 3? No. Do we have a 3 2? Yes, but we've used it already. 4 2 is where? Here. So that's 4 2. 3 anything could be 3 1. We'll just put that in there. Could be 3 4, but we don't know that. We need 3 something else, so I'm guessing it would be 3 4. But we need 4 4, so that's probably this. Maybe. You never know. We have a 0 that equals 0 1, maybe. We have a 4 that could be this. But we need a 4 0, a 2 0, which we do have, 4 2, which we don't have anymore. So that's unfortunate. Um, we got so close, but in the end, something's wrong. Like we have 1 1, and then this is a 2, but that's not a 4. So that makes for a problem. And I don't know how to solve it. Um, pre-0, free. The problem is, what if the structure is completely different? And now for something completely different. Well, we would have to consider 4 0. There's no 4 0. We could consider the 0, 0 to be here, but then we need at least 0 plus some and something else, which we don't have. So we have 0, 3. We have 4, 2, but a 4, 2 is here. And again, we're stuck with it doesn't matter where the 4, 2 is, we can't place it there or something. The 2, 2, the 3, the 4. This is a really crazy puzzle. Whereas a lot of like empty space, but also other things. I've never seen a puzzle this insane. It's hurts. Um, so first I have to think of how do I get a 2 in there? So we have zeros elsewhere. And the 2, 0 is down here. 4, 0 is here. What if that's the trick? That we use 2, 0 and 4, 0. But truth be told, we should have the 0, 0 be used somewhere where it's rational, but we don't have anywhere rational to put it. We're also missing the correct placement of a 4, and we're also on angles, and other things are just not existent, like a 0, 2, and I am very, very confused. Yeah, that doesn't help anything. 3, 4. Technically, because of 3 something, that was a wasted 3, 4, which we could just switch over to here. And then we have 3, 3, which is it could fit here. We have a 3, 0, which I placed in the wrong position. Don't worry about it. But also we have a 0, 3, and I can't find a 0, 3 that I can use to put in there. Oh wait, I'm just supposed to put it. Huh? I don't have a 0, 2. 0, 4 is this. I don't have a 0, 2. 0, 2 is this. Zero 3. 0, 1, not 0, 2. 'This hurts my head. Zero 4. Yeah, with too many 04s and 2 1. But we need a 2 somewhere. Those have to be 2s. 2, 3. It would make more sense if I could make sense out of the sense that's sensing. The only thing that must be there is the 2, 3 must be in that position, and everything else is just up for grabs. So I don't know anything else. Like, especially since the 4 could be any configuration of 4, 1, and it really doesn't make any difference. 4, 1 this way, 4, 1 that way, it achieves the same thing. So many zeros, 4, 0. Shut up with the out of bounds nonsense. This is a 0 and something. This is a couple zeros. But we still don't have 4, 3 and 4, 3. Where are these numbers? What's with the ones? What if the 3 4 is here? And you just need a 0, 1 there, so that works. So then you need another 0, 3, which you don't have. Except for this, if we invert it, which makes no difference, we don't have a 4, 2 or 3, 2. We have 0. That wastes the 2. 3, 3 could be up here instead. 3, 1 could be here. 2, 0 could be over there. Huh? Oh, we have 4 there. And then we have 1, 1. And then he boards a train. Sorry. Three, 3 could also be there if 4, 0. 3, 0. 3, undefined number. 0, 4. I'm running out of power. I don't like this puzzle. It's too weird. I'm done. But that was interesting. How do I stop? Oh, yeah, this nonsense. End stream, please.